What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Queen Sims World, and here we are with our apartment reno for the Kearn sisters. They're next door to the Yang family and Monique Palmer, who is a sex worker. So this apartment, I've never done this apartment before. It is quite a small space, so I did do the layout off camera just so I didn't waste too much time trying to figure out how I did this or how I did that. So I do a little bit of a change to one of the bedrooms, but for the most part, this is the layout. So I wanted it to just be an empty apartment that the Kearn sisters found and decided to move all of their stuff in. So the way that I'm building as if they are bringing up each piece of furniture piece by piece to see what fits. So I'm trying to fit in the beds first. Amber's bed goes in a little quickly since that room is just, there's no other space for it. But Jasmine's room, I end up having to change it up a little bit just so that the bed can fit. So I did want a double bed. I didn't want her to have a single bed. So she needed a double bed. So I adjusted that room a bit so I can make sure that it worked. Now, once I got the bed in there, I felt like I was a little bit more confident to try to change Amber's bed. But again, that room is just so awkwardly shaped. But that's the only space that I could come up with. And I needed this to be a 2 bedroom. So I made it work. So I'm going to be putting in bigger furniture first. And then I'll be getting down to more of the decorative furniture and then down to the clutter. So I don't do my builds or my renovations room by room, but I do try my best to do it in a logical order so that it makes sense from biggest to smallest. So I said in this apartment reno, I will talk more about the Kearn sisters and their story. So I did do the layout off camera, like I said, and to test parts of the build, I had them come in. So I did play for about a day in game with them, not only just so that I could figure out if things were working, but also so that I could get more sense of their personality, more sense of who they might be and what they might need in their apartment, and to start off their relationships. I never start off LPs with Sims with no skills. It doesn't make sense to me, because if they were a kid if they were born into the Sims, if that makes sense, they would have been developing skills since they were toddlers. So it's weird to me when you just create a sim and then they have no skills and you have to start from scratch. I don't do that. So yes, I use cheats. So I like to get all of that stuff situated and straight, get a feel for what they autonomously do so that I could add more. So that helps me tell the story a little bit more about these sisters, and that's actually where I got majority of the story from their cast video. So just to go back to Jasmine. She is a very intelligent sim. She cares deeply for her sister, and she didn't like the way they were treated going here and there from different orphanages and foster homes. So it's always been her idea to protect her sister and also to have a family of her own one day, no matter how that's going to happen. If she's going to have children, if she's going to adopt, if she's going to open her own orphanage, she is just interested in making that connection. So she is going to be majoring in communications when she gets to university, because she would like to be a I keep saying organization, a charity organizer, and possibly a politician. So as I'm working on the build, I'm thinking of different things that I know they need. There's music things in Amber's room, and Jasmine's room is a little bit more neat, and it doesn't have much but sensible clutter, if that makes sense. That is just because she's a neat sim. She doesn't like too much clutter. So there isn't going to be a whole lot of clutter in this build, simply because we have a sim that would clean it up anyway. So realistically, she wouldn't leave things out. Realistically, she wouldn't have a lot of things covering up her counter spaces or tables or anything like that. So you're going to see a lot of neatness for the apartment that it is, because we know this isn't a TLC. This is a TLC apartment, which means there are going to be mice coming out and dirty stuff and smells and all that, but it is what it is. So as I played a day in game with them, a lot of different things has happened. Both of them have actually already given me a pregnancy scare, believe it or not. I know. I don't know what kind of autonomy Wicked Whims is on. I put it on low autonomy, and for some reason, every time Jasmine is around this guy that she went on a date with, she asked for woohoo. I don't know. I don't know why she keeps doing it, but it's happening, and so I'm just gonna let it happen. So that's happened, and Amber is actually extremely attracted to the guy that she is dealing with, but she has no idea he's also interested in another girl. So that's drama for the LP later on. But again, I had to figure out more of their personality. So I feel like Jasmine has a bit of a wild side. She does like to be grown, if that makes sense, but she isn't she's just unsuspecting. She's one of those people that you would be like, oh yeah, she never gets into trouble, and meanwhile, she actually gets down in some of the wildest ways. So Jasmine doesn't show that, but that is her personality underneath it all. Okay, Gwen Stefani. um with Amber is, again, she's more of a wild sim. She wants to have fun. She wants to party all the time. Okay, Eddie Murphy. What? I don't know what's going on with me and song titles today. I'm just trying to do a voiceover. Here I go, not being professional. I'm really trying, guys. I'm trying to be professional. Anyway, this is a really tiny space for me. And that's not my forte. I'm usually good with bigger, with more space, but this is what I had to do, so I had to do it. I really wanted to use this dresser, but it's too big for that space, and when you size it down, you can't put anything on it without it floating, and I really didn't feel like getting the OMSP shelf. I needed to get it for something else later on, and I really hate as helpful as the OMSP shelf is, sometimes it could be so troublesome for me to go out and get it. So I'm trying my best to stop being as lazy, and you're gonna see in this build, when it gets time for me, actually it's almost time for me to start the small clutter, so you're gonna see me slow down a lot, and that's basically because I'm realizing I have less stuff to add. Bigger stuff, I'm getting to the small clutter, and the small clutter is where you have to be detailed and size things up, size things down, use the OMSP shelf, and all of that stuff is really tedious. So as much as I do love a well cluttered or a well placed piece of clutter in a build, it does get to be a little bit annoying. So let me get into the build now that I've talked a little bit about what Jasmine and Amber have been doing. As you can see, Jasmine's desk there, those are all the products that she got from the grant that she was awarded. So that really allowed her to be able to start this new life with her and her sister. So this is why it's the beginning of their story. She didn't even imagine she was going to be able to go to university, let alone have her own place with her sister. She just thought she was going to be trying and trying, having to stay in the dorm and scraping by with this job or that job. But a lot of things worked out well for Jasmine. So she is just really excited about this new place in life. So I put this little that little plaque there. I forget what it comes from. I think it comes with Get to Work. But anyway, I just put that there to make it symbolize that's the article that was written about her and her sister and their situation after she won the grant. So I also end up putting the little freelancer award there too. And it's just basically for the same reasons, just to show that that's the greatest accomplishment, and that's the reason why they have the place that they have. So a lot of people, they just look at this apartment like, oh, this is your place, like it's run down, it has issues, it needs a lot of work. But to Jasmine, this apartment is everything, because they have been in 40, 50 different places all throughout their life, out throughout their lives, and now they have a place to call their own. So it's not a big deal to many Sims, but it's a big deal to Jasmine, and it's a big deal to Amber, to finally be together and not have to worry about anybody else except for the two of them and the future that they have coming up. So uh, when I get to rugs, that usually means that we're almost getting to the clutter. So I'm just placing things and making sure I have rugs for every place in the build that is necessary. So in the rooms, over here by her music equipment, I put another one here by this little bar area. That's also where I put the bills and stuff. I have this, the snowy escape. I use that for every single bathroom. I don't even care. Like, I love it, and I'm going to use it for every bathroom. Sue me. I don't care. Um, so making sure I have the broom. I try my best to get a lot of green things just to kind of symbolize, Jasmine going around saying, oh, do they have it in green? Do they have it in green? Since this is their first time buying things for themselves. It's the first time they had things for their own apartment, for their own place. So it's really a big deal. I ended up getting this board from Parenthood so that we could set the curfew for Amber, because as we all know, Amber's already out of control, staying out till 5 a.m., going to clubs, going to parties. So we want to make sure that at least we're trying to put some discipline in her. So I'm creating the smaller things that tell stories, starting here in the kitchen. Just kidding, not in the kitchen, starting in Amber's room. I think she's going to be into Harry Potter and things like that. So I know that Jasmine is going to be a really great chef. She likes to cook for her sister, and they're just glad to have a kitchen of their own to do it in. A lot of people will just look at this kitchen and say, oh, it's so small, it's so tiny. But to Jasmine, she's just like, I have my own kitchen, my own stove. Big deal. So again, put that award there. So that is her Elgato Grant Award that allowed her to have all of those all that streaming equipment. And Amber's actually going to be using it as well, because she also wants to be a streamer. Finally found a dresser to go into Jasmine's room, so I'm able to look at how I want to start placing all of the smaller clutter. So again, I put my debug and live edit, so I try to get as many realistic objects as possible, as well as clutter objects from my CC packs. So I like to have, food jars and lotion bottles and things like that. So I decided to just get a few things for the kitchen. They have a small kitchen, and I don't want to make it seem like, oh, they're out buying lots and lots of groceries. I wanted it to be realistic. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just things that would be in a kitchen, would be in a bathroom, would be in a bedroom. All of the things that are in Jasmine's rooms are going to be very, very simple. And same thing with Amber. Amber is really not interested in things. The things that she has are literally because her sister buys it for her. Things for her monthly cycle, and like tissue and lotion. That's pretty much all Amber holds on to. And her makeup isn't even sitting out. And adding smaller little clutter items. As you can see, like I said, I'm slowing down because I'm looking around. Where can I add things? What can I add? What makes sense with this build? What goes along with the storyline? So I am trying to add and move as many objects as easily as possible. I wanted this entry space to look like something, especially because I had that green screen there. I didn't think that was going to work at first, but when I was able to get them to sit down and still use everything and go in and out of the door, I just felt like, well, let's just leave it like that. And they're improvising. This is a small space, but to them, this is like hella space. This is hella space to them because they've been in the size of Amber's room with 4 other girls. So if they can make it through that, they feel like this is like a palace. This is a palace to them. And they are going to spend a lot of time, I think, inside of this apartment. Maybe not entertaining as much, but spending time together because they do have a really close relationship. I thought I was going to make them be at odds with each other because they have, you know, these different personalities and they handle things differently. But when they both started, woohooing all willy nilly, and she would come home and talk to her, and they would be hugging and stuff. I'm like, they actually have a really great relationship. They just they have just 2 different temperaments. One of them shows everything on the outside. The other one keeps everything on the inside. And I just think that is part of how every sister-sister relationship is. Everyone isn't the same. Everyone doesn't react the same. And that's just so evident between Jasmine and Amber. I'm continuing on now with some plants. I felt like Jasmine would like plants, but maybe not too many. So I didn't go crazy and start picking up like 5-6 different plants. I think I put a total of 3 different plants. That one right there by that small table. 4. One in the bedroom, which is the eucalyptus. One on top of the TV, which is a lotus flower actually. And then that small one on the desk with the computer. So I sized down those items over there in the kitchen because I just wanted it to look a little bit more realistic and not hanging off of the shelf. And I remembered I needed a bookcase. I know there's one in that TV, and both TVs, the one in Amber's room and the one in the living room. But I felt like Jasmine would probably have a bookcase in her room as well. And unfortunately, I could only find this bookshelf to go or that could fit. But it worked out. So I think I'm getting to the end of the build. And yes, just adding the last few final touches and moving things around before I go into the tour. So I just really hope you guys like this build. It was a spur of the moment, but I'm practicing. I'm trying to get better at this. So I really hope you guys like it. Please comment and let me know what I should change. Are the voiceovers working? I don't know. So just going into the build now so you guys can see everything. Kitchen. Bathroom. Pretty simple bathroom. A little bit of the living space before we go into Jasmine's room. And her room is simple. Products in her bed. Love those curtains. Then back out to the living space, the entryway, the living room. And there's the yoga mat and the small little laundry space before going into Amber's room with her music space and her mirror. Hey, Amber. She can fully watch TV and lounge out in that chair and with that TV. Her room is small, but, she really just needs it to sleep and to hang out a bit. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.